And this is the big breaking story. This is the headline we were waiting for. CNBC TV 18 has information that the GST bill has indeed been cleared by Cabinet. Remember, the Cabinet deliberated on this matter starting 6:30 this evening, and the Constitutional Amendment Bill, the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill, has been cleared by Cabinet. It is likely to be tabled in this session of Parliament itself. That is what the government was hoping for, and now we do understand that the bill has been cleared by Cabinet. Sapna Das, who broke that story, joins us now with the details. Sapna, it's a done deal. The Cabinet has given the go-ahead for the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill.
Absolutely. This is what the status is now, and as we have been indicating earlier also, that this bill has been cleared with some degree of consensus from the state governments. So this is the Cabinet now, and it's now all ready to be tabled in the current ongoing winter session of the Parliament. The Centre has been keen to push this agenda. So probably in the next 2 or 3 working days that remain for the Parliament session, we will see progress on that front. But however, it could be a long road forward in the sense that this will just be a tabling of the bill. It's in the budget session that probably the debate and discussion will begin on the bill, and then of course the enormous task of both houses having to vet it.
Because I'm going to ask you to hold on. I'm going to ask you to hold on and go through the details that you have been gathering over the past several days in terms of the contents of that bill. But let's get in voices now. Sachin Menon joins us. Sachin, appreciate you joining us here on CNBC TV 18. This is the big story at this point in time. The GST Constitutional Amendment Bill has been cleared by Cabinet, paving the way for the bill to make its way to the winter session of Parliament. Your first reactions?
Well, I think I am very happy to hear this news. This is a moment in history for the Indian government. I am sure that this is going to help India to be elevated to the economic powerhouse that it is predicted to be. And it also would open up a common market for India, and it would also ease doing business in India. And I'm really excited to hear this.
Well, you are excited to hear it, and as you pointed out, this is historic because we've been going back and forth from the time of the UPA, from the time of the then Finance Minister, President, and now President Pranab Mukherjee, and finally this bill is going to be presented in Parliament in this session. But let's talk about the points where the government has actually had to climb down in order to get the states on board. The controversy as far as petroleum is concerned, petroleum products are concerned, nil duty rate being subsumed eventually into the GST. Do you believe that this is a half-baked bill? This is an ideal bill that is being taken to Parliament?
Well, given the demographies and the questions within the India as a federation, I don't think that we are going to have a perfect GST bill ever. So, especially this dual GST is a regime which was first time experimenting in the world, in any of the countries for that matter. So, for that matter, there has to be some kind of compromises in some of the issues, without which I don't think that we will ever have a GST. So, if you are waiting for a perfect house, it may not be practical. So, given circumstances, I think there is a fair understanding about keeping the entry tax within the GST and the petroleum products for that matter. I would imagine that perhaps this is the best possible way which we can address this conflict between the state and centre.
All right, so you're saying that you need to broker some sort of a compromise in order to get moving as far as the GST is concerned. But let me go back across to our colleague Sapna Das, because she's been bringing us information on this, and then I'll come back again to you, Sachin. Sapna, for the benefit of our viewers who are just joining in, take us through the contours. What is the information that you've gathered from sources in terms of what the contents of the bill are?
Well, the broad contours basically indicate towards the setting up of the GST Council. This is very well known. This will, of course, the Union Finance Minister will chair the GST Council. The GST Council will be a fulcrum in the sense of the tax rates, the GST rates, and all other various negotiations between the state governments and the centre will be decided by the GST Council. That's one. So the passage, or rather whenever the bill is passed in the Union Parliament and by the state legislatures later, it would give basically a constitutional teeth to the GST Council. That's one. In terms of the membership of the council, how the decisions are going to be taken, the type of number that the government is actually looking at is 3/4 members present in voting for decisions to be taken, and in the voting, a share of the central government will be 1/3 in terms of the voting rights. So this practically gives a kind of a veto to the central government in the sense there are so many state governments and centers alone. So it should not appear as if the state governments are just able to muzzle through whatever they want. So this is more of a balancing act in the GST Council. The centre has been quite generous in terms of keeping only 1/3 of the share of the votes. And most critical, in fact, the items which are going to be in the constitution, out of the constitution, petroleum products are going to be in the constitution. Entry tax is going to be subsumed into the constitution. However, on petrol products, most probably it will be at nil rate.
Yeah, I'll come back to you, Sapna, in just a bit, but our colleague Rituparna Bhuyan, who's been tracking the cabinet meeting, also joins us now from Parliament. Ritu, marathon cabinet meeting finally over, GST being cleared. Any other information on, for instance, amendments to the real estate regulators bill, or any more information on the GST bill that's been cleared?
Well, we expect a press release to be put out by the Press Information Bureau on the contours of the constitutional amendment bill. Because the parliament session is on, there would be no formal briefing on this. As far as the real estate related bill is concerned, our sources in the cabinet, they are not ready to confirm us on the status of that bill. But from what we understand, there should not be any problem in clearance of that bill because it was already sent to the standing committee, and most probably, in all likelihood, it should be cleared.
I'll let you get back to work, Ritu, and get us more information. Let's go across to Amit from Grant Thornton. He joins us as always. Amit, thanks very much. So the cabinet giving its approval to the GST constitutional amendment bill, which means that in this session of Parliament, which ends on the 24th of December, we could perhaps see the government tabling this. What do you make of it? The broad contours, as we've been reporting, petrol products, entry tax to be subsumed into the GST, alcohol and tobacco will be out of the GST, and of course the compensation mechanism will still be worked out.
Well, if you look at the way in which the conversations around the GST amendment discussions have happened, one thing for sure is that this is obviously going to be a very significant fiscal reform from the current government, and that's the most important takeaway for all of us sitting over here observing the developments. The second is each of the points that you right now mentioned, Shireen. The biggest point over here is the fact that entry tax is going to be subsumed. I think that's a big decision that has happened. The state governments have shown that they are also actively supporting the entire introduction of the bill, which I personally believe is a very, very interesting development. Of course, once we see the text of the bill and we see how it actually gets passed in the parliament, a lot of other finer details may come through. But just this one point shows that the intent is good and the consensus is driven.
Oh, absolutely. The intent is clear. The question now is debate and passage. It's unlikely that we are going to see this go through Parliament in this session. Sachin, let me ask you that question. Even if this government were to just table this bill in this session of Parliament and take up the debate and passage in the budget session, it will be a significant sentiment booster, you think?
Absolutely, because entire world is looking towards what happens to the Indian GST bill. I'm getting enough queries from the foreign MNC companies. How is it progressing, for that matter? And that now the state's concerns are taken care. And I would imagine that the states were also asking for making provision for the compensation within the constitutional amendment bill. And I suspect that the states are agreed to table this bill would also point towards the possibility of government agreeing to that too. So,
Sachin and Amit, to both of you. Yeah, to both of you, a quick question, and I know that the rates are not going to be part of the amendment bill which has been cleared by Cabinet, but as our colleague Nayantara has been reporting, the estimation is that the rate could initially be very high, the 20 plus kind of region, perhaps even between 25 and perhaps even higher. A quick take as far as the GST rate itself is concerned, even though, as I'm pointing out, it's not part of the bill.
Well, if you look at the rate discussion that's happening, and again, the devil is in the detail, obviously. But any rate of GST which is going to be above 20 or 22% will obviously be something that the broader industry would be frowning upon, because it comes very close to the simple arithmetic of just adding the excise rate and the VAT rate that is applicable in India today. The expectation was that one of the benefits of GST would be to remove the tax-on-tax cascading effect, which means a 22% rate should have been sufficient. But if it goes beyond 22%, then I'm sure a lot of people will start wondering what could be the exact reason why the rate has gone up.
Right. Sachin, what we are given to understand, and again, it's premature at this point in time, but our sources and highly placed sources in the finance ministry seem to suggest that the rate could be higher than 22%, which is what Amit was just alluding to. If that is indeed the case, do you believe that that is going to be a big setback?
Well, I don't believe that this 27% recommendation is going to go through for two reasons. Number one is some of the assumptions which is being considered by NIPFP while arriving at the 27%. Number one is that they taken the central sales tax rate as 4%. And that's one assumption. The second assumption they have taken is that there are two rates which will be there under GST, which is a concessional rate of 4% and then a 27%. And I don't think that government would go for a 4% lower rate. And NIPFP argues that if the rate is more than 4%, every 2% there is to be a reduction of the general rate by 3%. So which means that if the concession rate is 6%, then the 27 will become 24. So and so many assumptions which are on basis of which this 27% arrived at is not making sense. And I don't think the economists are also buying this theory. So I don't think that this will be such a high rate.
Let me bring Nitin Chhapra into this conversation as well. Nitin, we're still awaiting official details, but this is confirmed that the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill has been cleared by the Cabinet, perhaps paving the way for it to make its entry in Parliament. Your first reactions? Bipin, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, your first reaction to the fact that the Cabinet has cleared the Constitutional Amendment Bill for the GST, paving the way to make it to Parliament this session?
I think it was long overdue. Really happy that this has gone through. And I think it will be really great for the entire industry and the country that this bill has finally seen the light of the day. Once it is passed, I think it will be the right step in the right direction.
Okay, what we are also given to understand now is that the compensation mechanism is part of the Constitutional Amendment Bill that has been cleared by the Cabinet. But Bipin, the fact that now it is going to perhaps make its way to Parliament in this session itself, do you believe that April 2016 timeline can be met?
I would assume so, because this is, once this bill has been introduced in the Parliament now, we should be able to clear it at least in the Parliament in the budget session, and then this goes to the states for clearance. But in the interim, the work on the law can go on in full earnest. So my view would be 1st April 2016 is definitely on.
Okay. Sachin, let me just come back to you, because this is information that we're getting in from highly placed government sources at this point in time. I'm going to ask my colleagues to put it out as a news flash. The compensation mechanism is part of the bill that has been cleared by Cabinet. Your reaction to that?
Well, I imagine so, because one of the long-standing demand of the state was that to guarantee their compensation in the constitution itself, so that center cannot postpone the disbursement without any limit. So if that is done, then very significant concern of the state is addressed. So that definitely would make the government to oblige and make provisions in every budget for this compensation, which is due to the state. So which would be rather soothing news for the states, so that I hope that the objection which they have the resistance which they have will significantly come down.
All right, gentlemen, let me get wrap-up comments from all of you. This is the information that we have as of now. This is, of course, source-based information. We are still waiting for the official confirmation to come in, but highly placed government sources tell us that the GST Constitutional Amendment Bill has been cleared by the Cabinet, that compensation to states is part of the Constitutional Amendment Bill that has been cleared by the Cabinet. Wrap-up comments. Amit, I'm going to start by asking you 10 seconds to end this conversation.
Well, now that it has gone through the Cabinet, the most important thing to look forward to is how it gets passed in the Parliament and if there are any consequential changes that could happen. But looking forward very optimistically that there is a very significant and landmark fiscal reform that's going to happen. So looking at it very eagerly and hoping that the government can meet its deadline of 1st April 2016, although I personally believe that's a very optimistic deadline to achieve.
All right, Bipin Sapra, more information and official, unofficial confirmation coming in. Government sources telling us petrol products will be part of the GST, will be kept at nil rates initially. What we were given to understand earlier was that perhaps for the first 3 years. Your quick comments on that?
That's a great move, first move in a long road ahead. That was very well desired, and I think once this gets integrated into the law and it really gets implemented, I think we'll have a good GST in place.
All right, Sachin, the last word to you. We started this conversation with you. Let me end by asking you, 2016, ambitious, likely to be a reality?
Well, this petroleum is now proposed to be nil. Nil rate is something which is a climb down by the central government. Actually, originally proposed was that it should be zero rated. There's a difference between nil rate and zero rated. When you say nil rate, which means that whatever GST input tax which they will incur will be a cost to the petroleum company as it is today. Whereas if you are zero rating it, the government is supposed to refund those input taxes, GST input taxes.
Yeah, so what I can confirm is that it will be kept at nil rate initially. They haven't specified the time period, but they have said that petrol products will be part of the GST and will be kept at the nil rate initially. I can confirm that.
So that is a significant change in the stand of the central government, and that would definitely bring the status quo of the petroleum products post GST, which means that it would only reporting purpose, it would be under GST, but otherwise all other taxes which is levied today would continue in some other form.
Okay. So that's a big climb down there as far as the petrol products.
This is the case. I don't think there is anything left out for the state to, any objection left out for the state to address. Yeah. And if that's the case, I think there will be a smooth passage of GST bill.
Okay, so the government has gone in for the big compromise there as far as petrol products are concerned. Nil rate initially, and perhaps this is to get the states on board for a safe passage to be provided to this bill. Bipin Sapra, Amit and Sachin Menon, appreciate you joining us here on what has been a big day as far as the GST bill and its step towards reality is concerned. Of course, hopefully we will see it being tabled in this session of Parliament. We are going to have to take a break here, but when we return, there's a lot more.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating